This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And good evening, one and all. I am Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone. We're coming to you live and around the world from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. It is Monday, October the 12th in the year 2015. Up here in Canada, it is Thanksgiving. And this is the day that all turkeys really dread. You know, they figure if they live past Thanksgiving Day, they're safe for the rest of the year. But oh no, you're not El Turcos, because we're going to get you for Christmas dinner and Thanksgiving yet. Ha. It always amazes me how much turkey kids can eat. My Lord. You know, you get a 30-pound turkey, you get 6 young kids, and well, the bones are ready for the soup. So from our home to yours, from everyone here at the X-Zone Radio TV show, rel-mar McConnell Media Company, all our affiliates and networks, to each and every one of you, whether you're in Canada or not, a very happy Thanksgiving. I understand that today is Columbus Day in the United States. I'm still surprised that they're celebrating that, since Christopher Columbus never did discover North America. It was discovered by the Vikings, or a bunch of drunken Irish monks who got lost in the rowboat on their way to their local pub. So I think that we should change Columbus Day to Viking Day. There you go. Happy Viking Day to everyone in North America, since it was the Vikings who truly did discover North America. I bet you I'm going to get a lot of emails on that one, Craig. X-Zone Nation, you can always send us an email, xzone at xzoneradiotv.com, on all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV. And, of course, you can listen to the X-Zone Monday through Friday from 8 p.m. until midnight, live and around the world from our broadcast centers here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, at www.xzoneradiotv.com. You listen to the X-Zone at that site, xzoneradiotv.com, 24/7, 365. That's what happens, X-Zone Nation, when you do a show that starts back in a number of years ago, and we have all our archives, and with over 3,900 guests interviewed. That's individual guests. There are many guests that we've had on 3 or 4 or 5 times over the 24 years that we've been on the show. So sit back, enjoy, and all these shows are with the compliments of all the advertisers of the X-Zone Radio Show. My guest this hour, my first guest, is Sylvia Mann. Now, she's been a geriatric nurse and a nursing instructor in the old country of Germany. She was very interested in the unknown energies, like higher beings, ascended masters, angels, spirit guides, etc., since childhood. The constellation of planets and their influence for us humans, animals, and Earth has always fascinated her as well. In 1992, Sylvia came on her spiritual path after a series of losing loved ones, including her parents suddenly. And Sylvia, I'm sorry to hear that. Sylvia learned to communicate with higher beings called channeling. She was also introduced to her first healing modality called Cantor Holistic Touch. Later, having learned about Reiki, spiritual astrology, body talk, and more came into her awareness and has awakened her interest to learn those modalities. Hands-on work is what she does with a Vedic Indian head and face massage. But most recently work for the last 5 years is giving and teaching Reiki, giving angel oracle card readings, and offering life coaching, helping people to overcome obstacles to achieve their goals and gaining more self-confidence. Joining us from the beautiful part of Ontario called Durham is Sylvia Mann. And Sylvia, welcome to the X Zone, and from one Ontarian to another, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Rob, and happy Thanksgiving to you too. A pleasure to be here.
We're happy you're with us, dear. So, as a young lady in Germany, did you have any idea that later on in life, here you would be in Durham, Ontario, interested in all the metaphysical aspects of life that you're interested in now?
Well, not really. When I was 14, actually, there was one night after Good Friday over there, and I just knew all of a sudden 3 things. I will never have children on my own, which is true. I have 2 wonderful stepchildren. Second, first, I would never get married, which is not so true, but I got married when I was already 38 years old, so very late, and I had to because I wanted to stay here in Canada. And the third one is I will never be buried in my hometown like my old loved ones. So that was something very important to me, and I was shocked because it was so vivid, so true. It felt so true, and in the end, it came true. I mean, the first 2 parts are true. I'm 53 now, so I would never have kids on my own again. Okay, if I wanted to. Like I said, I have 2 wonderful stepchildren.
Yes.
I married a man who's way older than I am. And I was older. I was 39 then when I got married. I was 38 coming here, and a year later we got married. So those 2 things have come true. And in the old country, they always called me, I didn't know what my parents meant by that, or my mom specifically, that I have the second sight. Because sometimes I just blurt out things as a kid, which came true. So I lost that for a while when I became a teenager because I wanted to fit into the crowd, so to speak, and not called being the super weirdo or whatnot. And I understand kids today, especially the crystal child we were talking about, they so sensitive and so aware of everything. And this has to be treasured because it took me a long time. And thanks God I met this awesome woman, Christine Strübing, over there in Germany in 92, who brought me back to my gift. It was a long way. It took me a few years to accept it, but eventually I did. And from there, it just came one after another, so to speak.
Fascinating. You're a geriatric nurse, and you're also a nursing instructor. Being a geriatric nurse, you work with those who are ready to make the transition from this side to the other. Do you find that your gifts come in very handy when helping those people? And I know this because my wife is a nurse. She's worked geriatrics before she's in the ward where she is now.
Yes, definitely, because I never was afraid of the death. To be honest, for myself, I wrote this in my bio. In my first 10 years of my young life, I had 2 major car accidents.
Oh my God.
I was not in a car. I got hit twice by a car. I was 5 years old and 8 years old, and I survived. Very badly injured. Twice my right leg was broken, but I bounced back. So, and with 8 years old, I knew I want to be a nurse. Not specific geriatric back then, but I knew I want to be a nurse.
Right.
And I became a nurse after high school, and working with the elderly, and especially then with those the terminally ill, it was a gift. And I was really open, and they could talk to me if they wanted to, and especially when I had night shift. Many young nurses hate night shifts, right? They want to be with their boyfriends and want to go out. I took sometimes an exchange. I said, okay, you take a weekend for me and I take your night shift, right? And people dying, especially in early morning hours. I mean, your wife should be known. So between 3 and 5 o'clock. I was always there. I could see, I saw I have seen so many people dying, and even the loved ones sometimes who were with them said to me, doesn't it bothering you? You're so young and you see that? I said, no, because it's natural and they need a helping hand. Right. Sure. What sometimes made this part of palliative care, let's say it that way, so hard are the circumstances. Even nowadays, nurses facing with low staff and stuff like that. You don't have the time to pay more attention to the individual who really needs it. You know, when you have 20, 25 people on one ward, right? And you are the only one at night. So that was a little bit hard sometimes for me. But the fact to be with someone who is in the transition process, no, never.
Really?
Yeah. I cannot say enjoyed it. That would be a wrong choice of word. But yeah, I felt complete. I felt complete helping someone to make the transition. And I tried to talk with co-workers in the old country about that. And even they told me, you are weird. How can this be fulfilling for you? It's horrible, you know. So I shut up and never talked about it, actually. Later on, when I was a nursing instructor, I created a special 1-week seminar for nursing students in the second year of their studies. And we went away from the school building just to be alone and discuss the subject about what does it mean dying, the dying process, and what does it mean for you as a nurse in becoming, so to speak, and what does it mean for you as a person for in your private area. And I had to fight for this week we call it transition seminar, not dying, a transition seminar with my peers, so to speak, because it has to be funded and everything. But as far as I know from a former co-worker of mine, which I still have contact to, she lives in Frankfurt. She says it's still running. It's still running, this 1 week transition seminar. And I'm really proud of that, you know, because I think it's a very important part for a nurse to be aware of it, you know.
So what do you believe happens when someone passes from this side to the next?
Well, what will happen or what can happen is, and that's really true, people are being more sensitive and more aware, and they actually really see points in their life they enjoyed, not so much they regret. We always see in movies or we read about it that people will see flashing in seconds their life come through and they see what they have regret. No, not so much. People actually seem to be getting more in peace, you know. And what I really discovered is everybody is dying its own death, if I can say that and phrase that way. I have never seen someone has died in the same way like someone before, you know. It's weird to make a distinction with that, but it really happened to me. That's what I have perceived, you know. Everybody will die differently in their own way. Some are more in peace, and that's what I really, with the elderly, have experienced, but I also have seen the opposite. Not so much, but I have seen it. The struggle right to the last breath. They couldn't let go. There was some unfinished business, I assume. They never talked about it or weren't able to talk about it. And they died much harder. Yeah, that can happen too.
Why do you think we fear death so much when, having been doing this show for 20 some odd years now, I've talked to mediums, I've spoken to channels like yourself, I've spoken to people who have had who have the ability to better understand and communicate with those who have made the transition. And I've also spoke to many people who have had near-death experiences. And what I hear, compared to what society believes, it's totally different. And I've been told so many times by those who have gone and just gone to the very edge and were asked or were told to return from the point of death, that they didn't want to come back, that the feeling was wonderful. It was beautiful. They had no pain. And they did not want to come back, and when they are back, they fear death no longer. So why do you think that society in general still has the fear of death?
Well, those are different points you can talk about it. The thing, my personal opinion is that in society, first of all, religious parts. In many religious denominations, death is almost as a punishment taught or preached. And that when you die and you haven't been a good person for some reason, then judgment will await you. And let's face it, we're all not free of sin, whatever what sin means in particular, just saying to throw this word around. And that alone makes people fearful of death. Have I done my diligence? Have I done my good deeds? Am I worthy to meet my maker? And that's one part. The other part is that sometimes those modern television shows and series, even it's totally sci-fi, it's fiction, but still not so good for people who are really sensitive, and very gullible in some ways. And when they see that there is a hell on the other side and there is beasts over there, that's also making in our subconscious mind lots of fearful thoughts we sometimes not aware of, but we fear death. And like you said, people actually who have almost been there and came back, they don't fear death any longer. And that's true.
Exo Nation, my guest this hour is Sylvia Mann. And Sylvia is, well, let me see. This young lady does everything from being a spiritual healer. She does channeling. She's able to communicate with higher beings, angel readings, spiritual astrology, Reiki, and much more. Now, Sylvia, before we go any further, how can our listeners contact you if they'd like to speak to you about a matter on a one-on-one basis?
Well, they can contact me either way to an email. That would be holisticdistancehealing@gmail.com. And I also have a website, my holistic energies, your life, your way. .com, where I'm still working on it. That's my third website. And it's my baby, so to speak. And I'm really proud of it to bring all my knowledge about those higher beings, about healing modalities and energy in particular into public awareness, so to speak. But right now, that would be the website or the email contact.
All right. Now, tell me about your healing modalities. Let me ask you this question. Can anyone be healed without prescribed medications?
That's, in my opinion, actually yes. But I'm very careful because we still live in a dual world, okay? That means I never would say to a person who comes to me, who is already under medical professional care, to say, stop what you're doing or stop what your doctor has prescribed you, because that's not up to me. Even I'm a nurse, or a former nurse, I should say, a retired one now. I would never do that, because any healing modality a healer performs, or a practitioner, some people prefer the word practitioner in comparison to healer, is complementary. That means it never interferes with what's going on the medical realm, okay, with medication or other therapies. Instead, it enhances the positive outcome of recovery, okay, of sometimes speeding up even healing, okay. When a person is more aware of her condition and is not so fond of going to doctor right away with every little peak here and there they feel, and likes to try a practitioner with a healing modality, then that's fine too. That's actually something I would say is more beneficial, okay? But I'm not against allopathic medicine because it has its right to be in the short term, not in the long term. I'm all against long term, but in the short term way, it's always a good thing to have to, if it's necessary, the doctor wants to give it to you, okay?
What, in your opinion, is the hardest part about the job that you do when it comes to being a spiritual healer?
It's the doubt people have. It's the doubt they not trust their own body healing ability, because our body is magnificent. Our body has the power to heal itself. And when I tell them that, because they always say, oh, can you fix me? Can you heal me? I said, no, I'm not fixing you. I'm helping you so you can fix yourself. And then they look at me a little bit and they think why I'm here. I said, well, I give my tool what I can and how I perform it, but you have to be open to receive it. And no one can make you do that if you're not ready for it. And sometimes in my beginning, not so much now, since I'm doing this for many years. But in the beginning, I was struggling with that because I was, in the end, doubting myself that I'm not good enough. And after a while, after I've channeled about this problem, my spiritual guide back then told me, it's not you, let go. Mm-hmm. You cannot force other people to believe and to receive, Right. You only can do as much. Tell them, and they have to make their own decision. And when I finally got this concept, and I understood this concept, everything just went from there. I never doubted myself, and actually the doubt a person still might have coming to me for the first time, mostly after the first session, it's gone. So they come back if they want to or have to, So, doubt is one of the biggest obstacle sometimes a healer can be confronted with.
Wow. How can someone like myself, who now I go to different exhibitions, symposiums, psychic fairs, and so on, and there's a lot of negativity in those places. I find that there's a lot of negativity. So how could I protect myself from unwanted negativity and energies that I find not only there, but in other places where I go? And, I feel the negativity. And I feel that there are people who you meet that can suck the energy right out of you. I call them energy vampires.
Exactly, yes.
So what can I do?
Well, you can do a lot, Rob, and everybody out there can do a lot. It's just sometimes we forget about it to do so. And even myself, after so many years, forget once in a while when I go into a department store, where lots of people are in there, to put my shields up. So How do I put my shields up? You can do it without any religious background. For those people that just like to check it out, is put yourself in a golden bubble. So what I mean by golden bubble, just envision or think. You don't have to envision. Some people say, I cannot envision anything. When I close my eyes, I don't see anything what you tell me. Then I just say to them, just think about it or say it out loud. I'm in a golden bubble or in a golden egg. Okay? And say it even 3 times when you leave your car and you walk down the parking lot and go into the department store or wherever you go, to your work, for instance, and you have to deal with a coworker who is not very fond of you, or your boss is always cranky, Sometimes, besides negative energy, there's just tense energy, okay? When the person is a little bit, and pardon my French, I have to say it that way, is a little bit pissed off,
Right, sure.
Not everybody is bad or wants to suck on you,
Sure.
But when you're a sensitive person, an empath like myself, that really can bring you down, and you can have sometimes flu-like symptoms. That's how I got trained in the past, So golden bubble is the first choice I would give to everyone to try it out. And for those who believe in angels, like myself too, I always ask Archangel Michael to surround me with his powerful shield of protection. And I always know I'm good to go. And even when I sit in my car, I ask him so that everybody is safe out there, not just from me, but in general, that there's no accidents and we all are safe. And it helped me a few times, to be honest. And I know it was because there was help, there was protection. So those 2 things you can really try out for yourself. You don't have to talk about with anybody, and just sense it for a while, what it does to you in comparison when you're not doing it. How do you feel in both situations, when you're doing it and when you're not doing it? And when you feel better when you're doing it to protect yourself, then please go on. It really benefits in many ways. I feel so much better because you don't, you have to think about something too. You are a powerful, positive person, even when you're not aware of it. You don't have to be a healer to be a healer. I know that sounds a little contradictory, but maybe I can explain later when we come to it.
Sure.
But when you feel good, you have lots of energy and light around you. And people who don't feel so good, they feel drawn to you. And especially when you're then being in department stores or where masses of people are. And of course, they start sucking on you, but not because they're aware of it and they want to. They're just doing it because you have so much to give. But in the end, you are the one who suffers from it. So you have to protect yourself, even though you don't know how big your light is. You have to protect yourself.
Exo Nation, my guest this hour is Sylvia Mann. Sylvia, you and I have to take a short commercial break at the bottom of the hour.
Okay.
Please stand by. Once again, Exo Nation, Sylvia Mann is my guest, and all you need to do is go to any search engine, type in Sylvia Mann, Durham, Ontario, and she comes up all over the place. It's that simple. 1-800-610-7035, worldwide toll-free. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On all social media sites, Xzone Radio TV, and our main radio website, where you can listen to the X-Zone 24/7, 365, is www.xzoneradiotv.com. And don't forget, X-Zone Nation, the X-Zone comes to you live and around the world on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, the Starcom Radio Network, Digital Broadcast Network, and Digital Satellite Network. And speaking about, Starcom Radio, of course, I'm going to plug my good friend Ed Till, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. until 5, exclusively on Starcom at www.starcomradionetwork.com. I'll be back on the other side of the short break with Sylvia Mann as we continue here in the X Zone. And once again, from our home to yours and everyone here at rel-mar McConnell Media Company in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, to the world, happy Thanksgiving. Ever wondered if your advertising dollar is really working for you? If your ad would have been here, you and more than 4 million people would be listening to it right now. Contact ads at xzoneradiotv.com. Ever wondered if... What if Jesus came back now and insisted that we listen to him? How would the world be different if Christians really followed the Gospels? For 2,000 years, we've been practicing a religion. Now it's finally time to get it right. Read Liberating Jesus, new from Roberta Grimes. Meet the Jesus you never knew. Roberta uses afterlife evidence and biblical analysis to prove that Jesus is exactly right. Learning the lessons that he came to teach is the reason we are born at all. Roberta says he has come back now to insist that we actually listen to him so we can begin to use his teachings to unite and transform the world. Liberating Jesus on Amazon, October 1st, and then wherever books are sold. Jesus has the answers, and it's not too late. Roberta blogs and answers questions at robertagrimes.com.
The scientist and the mystic have been on an age-old, relentless search with one thing in common. They seek truth. Their paths converge in the 40,000-year-old practice of shamanism, an ancient science delving to the quantum level of life, facilitating healing, manifestation, and evolution. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka, the founder and director of Path Home Shamanic Arts School, a unique Colorado State-certified occupational school training shamanic practitioners and teachers. We also provide classes for empowering personal lives through shamanism. Our certification classes are in week-long segments enabling international participation, and online classes and long-distance shamanic healing sessions are available. Come discover the science of magic in the limitless world of shamanism. www.findyourpathhome.com.
Good real estate websites are not just about showing listings, but offering visitors valuable information about neighborhoods, market statistics, tips, and personal insights. Luckily, you will find that on Roost, but you won't on many other real estate websites in Budapest. That's why we created Roost. Roost is a website with tailored results for the foreign investor, curated by Hungarian-loving expats who found their home abroad and decided to roost in Budapest. Let Roost help you get started on the right foot. Whether you intend to live, work, play, retire, or simply invest abroad, Roost offers all types of properties in Budapest, from affordable studios to luxury homes. From neighborhood insights like where to grab a great coffee or how to buy property, our team of local experts can answer your questions and speak to the direct concerns of a foreign investor. Buying foreign property is an exciting and complex adventure. It can also be very time-consuming and costly if you don't have the best information and resources at hand. Roost provides professional real estate services and assistance to an international clientele of foreign property investors and rental apartment owners in Budapest. For more information on Roost, visit their website at www.roost.co. That's www.rooste.co. Jeff Gilson didn't go out looking for adventure, danger, or the answers to most of the controversial political intrigues of the past 30 years. But he found all three when he began investigating the mysterious death of his close friend, Margaret Thatcher's favorite speechwriter. Just an ordinary guy living in a small, sleepy suburb 20 miles outside of London, Jeff's questions provoked a powerful response on both sides of the Atlantic. He was shot at, warned off by the CIA, and formed a close bond with one of Israel's most notorious intelligence officers. Relive Jeff's gripping adventure in his fast-paced book, Maggie's Hammer. Peel away the layers of establishment deception and discover, as Jeff did, that his friend was an assassin with British intelligence, that Great Britain has been America's secret hitman for the past 30 years, and that Princess Diana was not the target in that Parisian tunnel. All of this and more when you visit www.maggieshammer.com and find the link to buying this explosive book online. More and more ordinary people feel they no longer have control of their lives. Jeff fought back. He asked the difficult questions. He set out to redesign his own destiny, and you can do the same using Maggie's Hammer as your guide. Don't waste a moment. Buy it today. Visit www.maggieshammer.com.
Wouldn't you love to know the secret to everything? Well then, meet Dr. Kimberly McGeorge and her cutting-edge breakthrough knowledge that combines science with possibility. Dr. Kimberly brings real-life answers and healing to those open to alternative solutions. She teaches solution-based programs and classes that will change all areas of your life forever. Specializing in conscious creation, intuitive readings, and energy medicine, you can rapidly shift health, relationships, business, and money and abundance challenges quickly. Receive her best-selling book, Secret to Everything, at no cost by going to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone. That's right, transformation can start now. Just go to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone and receive Dr. Kimberly's book for free.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell. We're coming to you live and around the world on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, Starcom Radio Network, the Digital Broadcast Network, and Digital Satellite Network. My guest this hour is Sylvia Mann. And Sylvia, well, how would we best describe Sylvia? Let me see. She learned to communicate with higher beings. She does channeling. She was introduced to her very first healing modality. She later learned about Reiki, spiritual astrology, body talk, and came into her own awareness and has awakened her interest in all of those modalities. Joining us from Durham, Ontario is Sylvia Mann. And Sylvia, what was it like the first time you communicated with angels?
That was funny. Actually, it wasn't Angel. It was one of the Ascended Masters.
Oh, I see.
And it was in 92. And I have to elaborate a little bit.
Sure, please.
When I went to this first seminar by this woman, Christine Strubing, which was, or is, she's still alive, is a natural-born medium since childhood, and she has really the second sight. She can see all the ethereal bodies we have, the whole aura, the chakras, and all those things. And when I went, I never knew what spiritual teachers are, you know. So I went there, and there were 25 people in the room, and we all were sitting in a circle, and she introduced herself, and I was asking my neighbor, who's the other spiritual teacher? And she said, you will see. So then Christine started channeling and gave a message from her Ascended Master Vaivamus, and it dawned to me, and I said, holy moly, where I am here, where I have landed here, you know. And I tried to meditate, you know, and after 10 minutes, it was over. Everybody could participate and freely tell what they have experienced in those meditation of 10 or 15 minutes. And everybody was telling, oh, some saw colors, the others could smell the rose garden from their grandmother, you know, when she was a child, and so on. And I was sitting there almost crying inwardly, you know, because I saw nothing. It was dark. It was so dark. I couldn't feel, I see nothing. And Christine looked at me and she said, before I even opened up my mouth, she said, "Don't worry, Sylvia. It happened to me too when I was a teenager because I was resenting it and I didn't feel and see anything. But that doesn't mean it is there because you are surrounded by it. And your third eye chakra it's bursting of energy." And I just looked at her and thought to myself, "Lady, you are nuts," you know? So it took me 3-4 courses with her. And slowly, Rob, I got into it. And then the first time when I was channeling an ascended master called Sanat Kumara, I was in tears because I could feel the energy coming through my body. I could tell anything he was communicating through me. It was just maybe 3 minutes, you know, it was not that long. But I was so thrilled. And Christine said, "Well, that was your initiation. Now you have to work on it, you know, to get better at it, you know." And that's what I did. So yeah, it took me a while. I guess almost a year and a half after I met her for the first time, because I was very struggling and very resistant. I was a scientific girl, let me say that way. I was a young nurse, you know, and a nursing instructor, and even though I was interested and I was reading books and stuff like that, I never thought in my whole life it could happen to me too. And she says, "Why not? It's our birthright as humans. Everybody can do it, even animals doing it, you know, but they're much better at it as you guys, because our conscious mind, that's the one who gets in the way." Okay, so yeah, it's possible, but that was my journey. Took me a year and a half for sure for the first time to channel an ascended master, but then it goes better and better. You just have to stick on to it, you know.
So, how many times do you channel ascended masters now?
Frequently. Of course, when I'm doing angel oracle card readings, I'm connected immediately.
Really?
You know,
wow.
When it comes to question people asking me, and it goes really quick. And I do it with oracle cards. Those by, if I can say so, by Doreen Virtue.
Sure.
Those are my favorites right now. But the cards, as everybody would say, they're just a tool. They're not predicting anything, because the card it's given to me, for instance, says something just with healing, you know, on it. It doesn't mean anything. Healing can mean everything. But the message which comes through for the person, that's personal, and that's not made up by myself. And sometimes I will tell things which my conscious mind in the background still would say, "Oh, wait a minute," but before this "wait a minute" is over, it's already said, you know. And it hits 99%, it hits the core of the person, and they ask me, how do you know that? You don't know me. It's like, I don't know nothing. Me, Sylvia Mann, as a person, don't know nothing about you. You're asking, I connect with the angels, you know, and that's the message they give me to you, you know, and that's how it works. And how often I'm doing it? At least 2-3 times a week for myself, because I meditate regularly, and through meditation I also channel, you know, so that goes hand in hand for me. So I don't divide this anymore. That I'm just meditate, you know, meditating and channeling goes hand in hand for me. That's how it works for me.
Are all the messages that you get from the masters, are they positive? Have you ever been asked to deliver a message that wasn't that positive?
Saying what is positive, that's funny. But sometimes can positive for me doesn't have to be positive for you, and vice versa. Certainly they never give evil messages out or negative messages which could hurt a person. They're honest, but they're always doing it with love. When someone is channeling a higher being, it's the kind of words they're being chosen. They would never use any vulgar words, never. Sometimes they say, I guess I have to tell you that it happens a few times to me, because a person wouldn't understand what was communicated. And then the master I was channeling said, I'm telling you this in a way as a human you understand. And then he would choose a word a little bit stronger, but still under the normal level, let me say that way, okay? So the person could finally understand what the message was meant for them, you know. But yeah, it's never positive or negative. It's just a neutral way how they see us when we're struggling with something. And it always depends what is the answer of the person, you know, and then I'm channeling for them. So that's also very important. What they don't do, and they're not fortune telling. You know, I had clients sometimes in the beginning, especially, they asked me, will I win in the lottery, just to test me?
Sure.
And the answer, I remember one answer, and I never forget that, and it was by Ramos, and he said, who doesn't want to win in the lottery? Can you be more specific what you really want to ask? How about your relationship, you know? And on the other end, it was quiet, and the person was swallowing a few times, and then, yes, I want to ask. They had a problem in a relationship, you know, with a parent, a relationship, you know, with a parent. So that was very interesting. So they can be humorous a little bit too, you know, but they are certainly not fortune telling. So I always make that clear. That's not what channeling is. Then you have to go to a fortune teller for that.
What kind of messages would a channel, when somebody comes to you for channeling, what kind of questions should they ask you?
Oh, they can ask everything. They can ask from when they have problems in.
Sylvia, are you there? Sylvia, are you there? Craig, it seems that we might have lost Sylvia. All right, we're calling her back. Sylvia, are you there yet? Sylvia, are you there? Well, let's see if we can get her back some other way. Craig, can you do your magic? All right, we're trying to get Sylvia back. Apparently, we have lost our feed with Sylvia. So let me just try, and Craig is doing his magic over there. Craig, can you try again? Thanks, my good friend. So let's try this again. All right, he is now restarting the feed. And apparently there are problems with the internet at her end. So what we will do, Exo Nation, we're going to take a little bit of a break here, and when we come back, hopefully, you notice how I say that so positively, so optimistically, hopefully we will have Sylvia back. I was just getting into this conversation. Once again, Sylvia Mann is our special guest, and she'll be back hopefully with us on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
Okay.
In the world today, most people want what is called the American dream. They want love, a family, a fancy car, and a nice home in a nice neighborhood. They also want a good job and money to travel to interesting places. Life is great because they have the American dream. But what happens to this dream if they hear they have a devastating illness like lung cancer? The doctor may tell them they need treatment immediately or they will be dead in 6 months. He tells them you need surgery and then you need chemotherapy to get better. When they get home, they think of many unanswered questions. They ask themselves, will I survive when so many of my friends with cancer have died? How will I deal with the pain, hair loss, nausea and vomiting, sore mouth and other side effects of chemotherapy and pain of surgery? Will I be able to keep on working? What will happen to my family? Then they look at the internet and wonder, is there a better way to deal with lung cancer and return to my American dream? Carl Helvey can tell you yes, there is a better way. Carl Helvey is a registered nurse with a doctorate in public health and a 38-year lung cancer survivor. Carl was given 6 months to live when diagnosed, and he refused chemotherapy and surgery. Carl used alternative interventions. Those not only helped him overcome lung cancer, but also to remain cancer-free and healthy for over the past 36 years since recovery. In his book, You Can Beat Cancer Using Alternative Integrative Interventions, Dr. Helvey will tell you his story of using all-natural treatments for lung cancer and continuing to work during his treatment. Free of pain and discomfort, Carl will also share how he remained cancer and disease-free since then without chronic illnesses or prescribed medications. His story is supplemented with chapters by Dr. Bernie Siegel, Dr. Francesco Contreras, and Dr. James Forsyth, alternative integrative physicians, and Dr. Kim Dalzell and Tanya Harder-Pierce, health professionals. All have successfully helped others overcome cancer. Research presented by the alternative physicians on their treatments for lung cancer demonstrate a significantly higher long-term survival rate for lung cancer clients than those obtained by conventional doctors. In addition, their clients were free of or had reduced side effects. You Can Beat Lung Cancer Using Alternative Integrative Interventions by Dr. Carl Helvey is now available at all major book outlets and at www.beatlungcancer.net. That's www.beatlungcancer.net. This information may help you return to the American dream.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I believe we have Sylvia Mann back. Hey, Sylvia, you back with us?
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, great. So let me see. We were talking about angels. Channeling, the messages, the type of messages. Like when somebody sits down and asks you, like you said, they can ask any questions. How do you separate yourself from the problems that this person might be having? And you seem like a very empathic person. So how do you, Sylvia Mann, protect yourself?
Well, I have certain steps I go through, and I will, for instance, surround myself with special protective light, so to speak, and reground myself, connect with Mother Earth, and clear my channel and build up my channel and go to the level where the angels and also the ascended masters are. On that realm, so to speak. And that's the process I do, which takes me maybe a couple minutes now. It took me in the beginning almost 5 to 7 minutes, Right. You get a little bit better with that. And yes, I really separate myself at that moment when my channel stands correct and I receive the energy of the ascended master or the angel I'm calling in. Sylvia Mann, the person, is in the background. It's almost, this is called conscious channeling, not deep trance channeling. So I'm still aware who I am. I'm aware of the person who is in front of me, or sometimes on Skype,
Right.
And, but still, my conscious mind is in the background. I can interrupt any time if I want to, so I'm still in control, But for that matter, when I'm channeling, my persona is in the background, and I will answer question. Doesn't matter what a problem they have. I can separate myself at that moment. I'm not falling into pieces. That wouldn't be good for a channel. Then I wouldn't be of any help.
Can anyone learn how to channel?
Yes, definitely.
Is it hard?
Even children, they're already at the age of 8 or so. They can. They're really good at it, by the way. Yeah.
Does it take a long time to learn how to channel?
Not well. It takes practice. I'm really honest with that, and it depends on the person itself. Some people are more natural towards it than others, and of course they a little bit open for that. They pick up the method, so to speak, or the concept much quicker than others. But in the end, everybody can. No, I see no problem. If you wanted to learn it, Rob, I wouldn't see any problem. Why not? So that's possible. The willingness has to be there, for sure, and patience a little bit.
And patience, eh? How
sure.
important is meditation in trying to communicate with the other side?
Meditation in particular is always good for cleansing your thoughts, quiet your conscious mind, shut up your ego, the one who is really sometimes bring us more suffer than positives,
Right.
And to activate your the smallest cell of your body for healing purpose, so you can recharge yourself. You can cleanse yourself with meditation. And meditation can be done in so many ways. Let me just say that about meditation, Rob. Clients sometimes in the past and still today come to me and say, I cannot meditate. I'm not a guru. I'm not a yogi, because
Right.
they accidentally see meditation how the Eastern world is practicing it. They said Zen meditation. It's very strict, and then there's transcendental meditation where you have a mantra for yourself, and you have to watch it, and the position, how you sit straight and maybe on the floor with
Yes.
your legs crossed. No, you can do that if you feel guided to, but when you sit in your chair or on a normal on the Chesterfield, even sometimes lying down. But in the beginning, I would say sit up. It's better because then you don't fall asleep so easily. And just listen to your breathing. Breathe in, breathe out, just listen to it. And maybe in the springtime, you're being outside or just open a window, listen to the birds outside, to Mother Nature, that is already meditation. You don't have to close even your eyes. Maybe just gaze a little bit in the horizon, maybe have a nice picture in front of you, whatever it is, that's already is meditation. Start slowly, okay, before you go into those deeper phases. Even I'm doing it today, I'm just easygoing.
Right.
I have my special meditation music, especially nature music. I love a rainfall or a stream running by.
Yeah.
And that really cleanses me too, and it calms my mind and it activates to the smallest cell of my body to rejuvenate itself, and boost the healing abilities of my body. That's what actually meditation is doing. And when you're doing it regularly, at least twice a week in the beginning for 10 minutes each time, you're doing a lot of good in the long run. That's for sure.
Sylvia, we have to say so long for tonight. I want to thank you so much for joining us here at the X Zone.
Thank you too.
So until the next time we meet, take care of yourself. And once again, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for the call.
Bye, dear. Exonation, Sylvia Mann has been my guest this hour. All you have to do is Google her, Sylvia Mann, and that's M-A-N-N. And I put Durham, Ontario there, and bang, there she was. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. I'm Rob McConnell. Don't go away.